there. Duyodere, I will work with stakeholders to ensure APC gets 99% of votes in Bayelsa. Duyodere is the governor of Bayelsa State. And still staying with the cable newspaper, former head of state Abdulsalam Abubakar is saying Trump should support Nigeria's fight against insecurity, not issue threats. Okay. And it's politics taken too far. Mickey accuses opposition of fueling Christian genocide claims. And Natasha Akpoti is saying fear of persecution stopped senators from showing me support during suspension. And still staying with the cable newspaper, this is an exclusive. It says court summons Odumodubrix over criminal intimidation of Chocolate City officials. And from that to security matters, Ribado's service chiefs meet after Trump's threat of military action in Nigeria. And Peter Obi is saying APC's poor leadership deepened insecurity. FG says FG and US must engage over watch list. And Christians killing Christians in Southeast. It's not about religion, says Soludo on genocide claims. All right, we move on to New Telegraph. And it says IPOB plans protest against Nigeria's diplomatic delegation to Washington. And Tinubu appoints 5 new PEMSECs to strengthen service delivery. Reps, Senate, governors to meet Southeast new state proponents on November the 14th. And the PDP crisis, patriots call on BOT to restore normalcy. And Tinubu urged to turn national crisis into defining moment. All right, we move on to The Nation newspaper now. And still on Diri, I joined APC to stop Bayelsa from being buried with PDP. And Jump is saying 15,000 candidates fetched admission letters for NYSC mobilization. Tinubu orders end to doctor strike. Federal government states move to boost food security. And President hails Nigerian scholar Adenle for winning Global Food and Peace Award. This is a newspaper. Starting with the Trump story. Trump says U.S. may deploy airstrikes, ground troops in Nigeria. And INEC, on Anambra election, INEC is saying, INEC chairman, Professor Amoputan is saying, Anambra election is my first test. We will deliver a credible exercise. Federal government urges resident doctors to call off strike as talks to resolve disputes continue. And Governor Aiyedatiwa is saying we're investing in digital education infrastructure to meet global standards. FG6 IMF support to strengthen fiscal resilience in oil sector. And federal government states LG shares 16.4 trillion naira in 9 months. Revenue surges nearly 40%. Kaduna Peace Model, how Obasani's non-kinetic strategy turned fear into hope. Southwest Summit between old promises and new hopes for regional rebirth. All right, the Vanguard newspaper is next now, and it lays with a story on security. Trump, NSA security chiefs meet. And JAMB extends 2025 public universities admission deadline to November 17. Opposition fueling Christian genocide narrative. Wike. And still staying with the Vanguard newspaper, Damagus camp fires back, says defectors betrayed PDP, fault court ruling. I'm here to heal wounds, says new PDP factional acting chairman. Shettima receives Governor Diri into APC. Anambra election, INEC confirms 2.8 million voters. Security shots, PDP Secretariat, Legacy House amidst escalating tensions. Two die, others injured in fatal accidents involving UNN students en route Davido's concert. Very sad story there. NDLEA uncovers drug lab, seizes bathrobe consignment. All right, we move on to the Sun newspaper now. Alleged genocide, Christian genocide in Nigeria, how Buhari's refusal of help raised U.S. eyebrows. And why Atiku left PDP, that's according to Nyesom Wike. State creation, Kalu NAS members to meet Southeast New State promoters, November 14. We need help from U.S. others to resolve terrorism challenge, Governor Adeleke. And finally, we move on to the Punch newspaper. Governors battle Wike as PDP factions jostle for control. And on the foreign scene, Peru cuts diplomatic ties with Mexico over asylum for ex-Prime Minister. ANPP bloc sets tough terms to back Tinubu's 2027 bid. And on defilement, Lagos urges Supreme Court to affirm doctor's life sentence. Tinubu moves to appoint new ambassadors amid U.S. tension. And CPC blacklist. 12 Nigerian governors, other officials may face U.S. sanctions. And Governor Diri joins APC, tax PDP sinking ship. PDP crisis, marking the bloc regroups as Autumn Fayose backs Wike. And NDLEA arrests musician uncovers Lagos illicit drug laboratory. All right. right, we'll take a short break now, and when we return, we will look at some of the stories in detail. It's still News Super Review on Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja. Please don't go away. We will be back very soon.
Stay connected to the heartbeat of the nation's capital. Tune in to FCT Today every Wednesday, 12:30 p.m. on Citizens 93.7 FM Abuja. Get the latest updates on news, events, and happenings in and around the Federal Capital Territory. From politics to entertainment, business to culture, we have got the inside scope. Join the conversation, stay informed, and be ahead of the curve. Don't miss FCT Today every Wednesday, 12:30 p.m. on Citizens 93.7 FM Abuja. FCT Today, your window to the FCT every Wednesday, 12:30 p.m. on Citizens 93.7 FM Abuja.
Citizen FM Abuja, yeah. Citizen FM Abuja, yeah.
Wake up, Abuja. Rise and shine. Get ready to start your day on Sunrise at Citizen. Sunrise at Citizen 93.7. Join us from 5 a.m. to 12 noon as we bring you the latest news, trending topics, and the most music to kickstart your day. From politics to entertainment, sports to lifestyle, we've got you covered. Don't miss out on our interactive segments, contests, and giveaways that will keep you engaged and entertained. Start your day with a smile. So, set your alarms and wake up to the best morning show in the city. Sunrise at Citizen 93.7 FM, Abuja's go-to station for news, entertainment, and more. Sunrise at Citizen 93.7 FM, 5 a.m. to 12 noon, Monday to Friday. Let's get this day started.
Are you a student looking for a voice? Do you want to discuss the issues that matter most to you? Tune in to Student Affairs every Wednesday at 12:05 p.m. on Citizens 93.7 FM Abuja. Join the conversation as we dissect the latest trends, challenges, and successes affecting students. From academics to entertainment, we have got you covered. Don't miss out on the debate, the discussion, the dialogue, and much more. Be part of Student Affairs every Wednesday at 12:05 p.m. on Citizens 93.7 FM, Abuja. Student Affairs, empowering students' voices, every Wednesday at 12:05 p.m. on Citizens 93.7 FM, Abuja.
Citizen FM Abuja. Now we be the voice of the people. Citizen FM Abuja. Now we be the voice of the people. Citizen FM, Citizen FM. Make we join our hearts to build a nation of our dream. Citizen FM, Citizen FM. Your problem is my problem and my joy is your joy. Citizen FM, Citizen FM. Make we join our hearts to build a nation of our dream. Citizen FM, Citizen FM. Yeah. Your problem is my problem and my joy is your joy. Epa!
right, thank you so much for staying tuned. It's the second half of the program. And this is where we look at some of the stories in detail. And I have with me in the studio Mr. Salman Salami. Good morning, Mr. Salami.
A very good morning to you, Lawrence, and let me greet our super citizen listeners, especially, and I'm saying very, very good morning to you.
All right, good morning to you too, Mr. Salami. And the phone lines are also open. You can join the conversation. Call us on 0. All right, yes, you can join us on 0903 2229 797. You can also call us on 0818-2222-205. And we will be looking at some of the stories. Mrs. Salami, let's start off with the Nation newspaper. Tinubu orders end to doctor strike. President Bola Tinubu has ordered the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare to take urgent steps to end the ongoing strike by members of the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors and ensure their immediate return to duty. The Minister of State for Health and Social Welfare announced the presidential directive which underscores the administration's concern over the disruption of medical services nationwide while addressing reporters yesterday. Salako, that's the Dr. Salako, who is the Minister of State for Health and Social Welfare, who apologized to Nigerians affected by the industrial action, said the president mandated the ministry to do everything possible and legitimate to bring the striking doctors back to work. Mr. Salam.
I'm really, really unhappy with our brother, Dr. Salako. And I will, for the first time in my journalistic career, berate the federal government for neglect, insensitivity, and what others will see as disregard for lives of the people. Why would the president now order? Why should they wait for an order from the Mr. President before they know that we should do everything humanly possible to ensure that doctors, indeed, Nigerian workers, don't go on strike? Like that our brother said the other time, that the train had long left the station. Why would, look, we should prioritize life. A warning or a notice that we are giving you 14, the list is 14 days. And I expect any responsive and responsible government to engage these people within the 14 days in such a way that we will avert the strike. Why is it that you will allow them to go on strike and you now be giving directive? Or to even say that Mr. President had ordered us to ensure that must we wait for Mr. President? Do you need his order or directive?
Okay, Mr. Salami, I think I will not join you actually in berating the Minister of State, because I know that most of the times, especially when it comes to industrial action matters, most of the time the issues are normally beyond the ministers. And I say that because of my experience in covering the ASU strike over the years. Most of the time, these are issues that you need the top man to put his foot down and say, this is what we need to do. And reading that statement, it sounds like something that will come from a military regime. The president has ordered us to do this, has ordered the doctors to come back. You don't order industrial relations, you negotiate. You put your cards on the table and the other side puts a counter offer and you negotiate over the years. It's not when, just like you say, you don't wait for strike to begin before you now take negotiations seriously. Because over the years, one of the bane of industrial relation has always been the inability of one party to keep to agreement or to be sincere during negotiations. It has always been the case. And when everything is let loose now, you now want to start spinning the story all over the place. Just like you said, it's not something any right-thinking Nigerian should be happy about. Despite the fact that a lot of Nigerians will say, okay, let's give the current government a chance to do one or two things. But it doesn't mean that when it comes to serious matters, you shouldn't be seen to be serious about it from get-go. Because like you also said, these strikes, you get notices, you get warning strikes, you get a lot of things. And you don't wait to witness the cessation of work. People, do you know what is happening, Mrs. Salama, as we speak, to Nigerians in far-flung areas, in rural areas, who do not have the financial muscle to patronize a private practitioner, to go to private clinics? Do you know what happens? It's even bad enough, even when the doctors are not on strike. Access to medical facilities, health facilities are very limited. Up to so, this, I don't know whether the spinning of this story was intended to put the government in bad light, but it's infuriating to see this kind of report, Mr. Salami. We must be very sincere with ourselves.
Lawrence, we are no more journalists if we cannot inform factually, if we cannot educate sincerely, and if we fail to entertain when there is the need to entertain the people. The truth of the matter as we speak today is that the federal government seems to be, don't let me use the word.
Okay, thank you so much for not using the word.
The truth is simple. Why will you always wait till the last minute before you now begin to give impression as if you care? Health is so critical and so sensitive. It's such a thing that no government should toy with. Just as you spoke earlier, the access to Medicare, as we speak, is almost non-existent in this country. Let alone now allowing the skeletal one that the poor people have, I won't say enjoy, have to be taken away from them. Perhaps it's because at the drop of a hat, they take the next flight. Because do they even patronize our hospitals? Do they? I do not think it is the right thing. Today is not a particularly good day.
All right, Mrs. Arame, from health matters, let's move on to defense. The biggest story in the last 3, 4, 5 days has been the threat of military action against Nigeria by the U.S. president. We understand that yesterday there was a meeting between the NSA and the service chiefs. And this is how the Vanguard newspaper puts the story. NSA service chiefs meet. The National Security Advisor, Malam Nuhu Ribadu, yesterday met with service chiefs and heads of security and intelligence agencies over the decision of the U.S. president to move against Nigeria following allegation of Christian genocide in the country. The meeting came as Trump said late Sunday that ground troops and airstrikes could form part of the U.S. attack in Nigeria. And this is even as the government of Chad yesterday announced the immediate closure of its borders with Nigeria, attributing it to serious security concerns following reports of alleged U.S. military plans. Mr. Salame.
Well, it is getting a bit, I'm concerned. And all right-thinking Nigerians should be concerned. And I am of the view that this is when we Nigerians should come together, irrespective of tribe, religion, and political affiliation. We Nigerians should come together and do the right thing. What is the right thing? Let us agree as Nigerians that, yes, it's true we have a lot of problems. But we should not add religious problem to it. And we must be mindful of the fact that America is not doing this because of the interest of you and I. we should realize that whatever the West does is in furtherance of their selfish interest. Yes, we need every right-thinking country to assist us because we have a problem. There's no doubt about that. We, at one time, saw what happened in Anambra, Ozobulu, when they went into a church to kill some people, Christians killing Christians. What was that? Was it genocide? I am not glamorizing killing. Not at all. What I'm saying is that what is happening in Nigeria is a criminal act by heinous and some non-state actors. It is by no means a genocide. And some political opponents are taking advantage of this and spinning an unpatriotic narrative. Well, it will be an ill wind at the end of the day. It will hardly blow anybody any good. When I was growing up, my father would always say that the Alpha or the prophet who says there will be famine, will he heed the Quran?
All right. Mrs. Salami, for me, I think maybe this is a wake-up call for us as a nation to sincerely think of how to really put our house in order in terms of doing what we need to do, because since 2009, Mrs. Salami, we've had this back and forth. I was doing a research yesterday, and when I tried to compute the number of soldiers, officers and men that we have lost since 2009, I just couldn't bring myself to put it down. Not to talk of women and children, not to talk of innocent Nigerians, not to talk of foreigners who were caught in the crossfire during this. So many, the losses are widespread. You can't begin to compute it. So as a nation, we need, forget about all the other associating political imputations, which you can't do anything about. Politicians will always be politicians. Political opponents will always be political opponents. They always take advantage of situations. It happened before. It is happening now. It will still happen tomorrow. Even when another set of people are in government, it's always like that. That's the way we roll in this part of the world. But at the end of the day, Mrs. Salami, we need to keep our schools open. We need to keep our markets open. We need to make our hospitals functional. We need Nigerians to be able to sleep, as you normally see, with their two eyes closed. And it's a situation that we really need to sit down and say, look, maybe this should jolt us into action, and we do what we are supposed to do at the end of the day, Mr. Salam.
I am of the view that killing is unacceptable.
No, there's no doubt about that.
And I am of the view, too, that we have a problem in the country. But I do not think that a threat from any country is in our interest. It is not in our interest.
No.
If it's to jolt us, it has jolted us. But I think we Nigerians should realize that Nigeria essentially belongs to Nigerians, irrespective of creed and tribe, irrespective of religion. And I want to plead with politicians that they should not take undue and unpatriotic advantage of what is going on.
Nobody's going to listen to that your prayer and plea. It's always there. It's always there. It's always been there. It will always be there at the end of the day.
It is a very dangerous one. If this is how we roll, as you said, please let us stop rolling.
All right, we move on to politics. Diri, I joined APC to stop Bayelsa from being buried with PDP. Governor Diri made a triumphant entry into the All Progressives Congress yesterday, becoming the fourth governor this year to defect from the PDP into the ruling party. Those who defected before him are Delta State Governor, Akwa Ibom State Governor, Enugu State Governor. The Bayelsa State Governor, along with his Executive Council members, state lawmakers, and other leaders, were received into the ruling party before a huge crowd at the Samson CSL Stadium in Yenagoa. Vice President Kashim Shettima led the high-profile reception party. Diri said he tried his best to rescue the PDP, but failed because the party had been taken over by those he described as undertakers. And Mr. Salami, before you react to that, I want to put this story together so that you look at the two of them. And the Vanguard newspaper has a story. Damago fires back, says defectors betrayed PDP, fault court rulings. Supporters of the PDP National Working Committee, led by the national chairman, Ambassador Damago, have condemned the recent waves of defection by some elected officials, describing the development as destabilizing and harmful to the party unity. He also criticized what he termed dubious and predictable court judgments, saying such rulings have further deepened the crisis within the party. Mr. Salami, when it rains, it pours.
I am dumbfounded. Let me start from what the former chairman of PDP said. I mean, Malam Damago, Alaji Damago.
He's not a former chairman. He's a factional chairman.
Factional chairman said that the court judgment was expected, that giving impression as if the court was stampeded or biased. You see, like I always say that if the salt is not enough for the soup, don't always cause the leaf. Address the issue. The court did not cause their problem. All the court is interested is, did you follow your rules in doing what you are alleged to have done? A case was brought to court, and the court will look at the merit of the case based on the guidelines you have given yourself. And if you, in the wisdom of the court, did not follow your party guidelines and rules, what do you expect the court to say? The court is just there to interpret the laws. And let us look at it like that, as doing that, instead of now trying to... I do not like beer parlor discussion. I've been telling you that if we don't do things right, and the court says you did not do this thing, what do? We go back and do it right, instead of trying to trying to ascribe political into it. That is not it. That is one. Then two, on the issue of betrayal by their governors and some PDP members who saw what we did not see in APC and change turned coat rather, or decamped. Lawrence, I've been saying it that it's becoming worrisome. It's really becoming worrisome. But I would rather think that the PDP should do everything humanly possible to put his house in order.
Mr. Salami, and when you say things like this, you know what you normally say in the newsroom? You say, when somebody says something, you say, that's hollow talk.
Well, what do you want me to
you're
tell
saying,
them?
I don't understand. Put which house in order?
Well,
you see, Mr. Salami, for me, you know, the Nigerian political history revolves. It moves in circle. Remember before the 2015 election, when Alhaji Kwakwaso, Rotimi Amechi, and other governors left the PDP to form the new PDP. Prior to that, the PDP was a recipient of others who defected from other political parties to its fold when it was the ruling party. It's not on record that any of the chairmen then condemned that defection.
It was fine.
It was fine then.
And they even threatened that, they gloated.
Yes, that they will rule for 60 years.
60 years. And it was fine. It was all fine that time.
Just like you are gloating now.
That what?
Okay. So after that, remember when we had the Ali Modru Sheriff and what's the former governor of Kaduna State? McCarthy faction then. So PDP is not new to issue of faction and crisis. It's always been there. And when you say defection is worrisome, I wonder what is worrisome there. Because it's like before the 2031 election, you are likely to see defections. And then somebody will now then say, oh, the defection of these governors to this party is worrisome. That's how we roll again, Mr. Salami. It's us. We are just doing things, just that the platforms are different this time.
I am of the view that we should hold the ruling, Lawrence. We all know why we will.
Who are the we?
We, the people. What I'm saying is simple. It is just that our politics is not ideologically driven. There is no ideology. It is, they see those political parties as SPV. And it is unfortunate that in this 21st century, it is politics of, what did the Fayoshe call that politics?
Stomach infrastructure.
Lawrence, I don't want to join you again.
So, for me, I think there's nothing that has happened in the last 2-3 years that is new to the Nigerian political scene. And there's nothing that will happen that will be new. It's always like that. That's how we do our things at the end of the day. As long as it favors us, and you see at the end of the day. Let's move on to election matters. Anambra election is in about 4 days' time, and the INEC chairman is talking tough. Professor Amopito is saying, Anambra election is my first test. We will deliver a credible election. Chairman of INEC says the Anambra election scheduled for November 8th will be his first major test in office, and he is ready to deliver a credible exercise. Professor Amopito gave the assurance yesterday during the peace accord signing ceremony for all the 16 political parties in the contest, their candidates, and the state chairman. Mr. Salami, before you come, when I see things like this, when I see political parties sign peace accord and all those ceremonies, I always smile in my mind because I know that those things are just for the optics. But I want to share in the optimism of Professor Amopito. I hope that this new vigor sees him through at the end of the day, because it's good to have a credible election as your first start. They say the morning shows the day, and that will boost his image as the new INEC chairman. But beyond that, if wishes were horses, beyond that, it's different thing from what you wish and different thing from what is on ground. What is on ground in terms of logistics, because that has always been my issue with electoral commissions, logistic challenge. If you get your logistic right, every other thing likely to fall into place. Forget about the issue of people who dispute the final outcome. Politicians will always disagree on that. But if the process is right, election materials get to the polling booth on time, people vote, people find their names on the register, the materials, the equipment work, and election starts on time, it ends on time, people are counted, results are entered,